pick up from where we were yesterday. We were looking at some subtraction of decimals, and I think you guys all are getting the gist pretty well that we are adding and subtracting pretty much like normal, with the difference of lining up those decimals so that all our place value is in the same place, bringing down decimals, and adding zeros where necessary. And we talked yesterday about how with the addition, you don't really have to have the zeros, although I think that it just makes it easier to add your columns. Okay, so I suggest it highly. And if you get the answer wrong and you didn't have the zeros, you know I'm going to say something to you. Okay, so but for subtraction, especially if they're needed on top, you just really need them. Like for this example here, this is going to end up being 6, minus 0, right? So for this one, you could just bring down the 6. Cadence Taylor. Okay, Dancing Queen, let's go. Get back at your desk. She just spinning like crazy. Okay, so for this one, it's not as confusing, but it will be. So for this one, you guys set it up before we left yesterday. It's all lined up. We went ahead and added our zeros, so we'll just subtract. And when I get here, I'm going to bring down my decimal. If I do not add the decimal, what's going to happen, Charity? It's going to be wrong, absolutely. Every single time. Here I've got to borrow, so I'm going to do that. All right, so check my math against yours, please. How we doing? All right, good. Did everybody go ahead and solve that?
Yes.
Okay. Got it right. All right, good. We haven't subtracted with borrowing for a while, right? So it's been a minute since we did that, so that's always good to get that practice in as well. Let's take a look at... Oh, you know what we did not do, though? My bad. We did not estimate, and we should have done that first. Aria, how would you estimate the 45 and 96 hundredths?
You turn the 50.
So we talked about rounding to the first number, right?
What is it? The 3 4?
Oh, it'd be the 4. That's your carried number. Yeah.
So we turn the 4 into a 5.
Turn the 4 into a 5. So we have 50. Okay, and then we're going to take away... Charity, what about 19 and 20 hundredths here? Or actually, it'd be... 19 and 2 tenths, right? So what would you round that to? Remember, we talked about rounding to the first number. So what would happen to the 1?
It
Check your number to the right. 5 or more, let it soar. 4 or less, let it rest. Say the same. It would become a 2. Good. So we're going to make that 20, right? Because it's 19. And you know what's funny is if we were just looking at it as a whole number, would we say, we would kind of look at it like, is this closer to 19 or is it closer to 20? And it'd be closer to 19, right? But still, rounding up is a good thing. So the answer would have been around 30, and it was. If we had... And I'm just going to put this over here. If we had just said, okay, let's just round to the nearest whole number, right? We have 45. Is this number closer to 45 or would it go up to 46?
46.
It'd go up to 46. So So when we're looking at it in a more detailed manner, we do the same thing with this. You know, I've got 19.2. Is that closer? Is the 19 closer to 19 or closer to 20? It's closer to 19, right? Because you only have a 2 here. If that 2 was 5 or bigger, you would have gone to 20. So it would have looked something like this when we estimated. And that's a whole lot closer, right? So I think that really is the question when they're asking you like to estimate. Where are they asking you to estimate? To the nearest whole number, or just, you know, estimate to the largest digit? So it's good to be aware of both. Also, we make rounding this whole thing that lots of kids struggle with. It's like, oh, let me find the right number. Let me look at my neighbor. But honestly, some of it is just kind of common sense, right? If I look here at the 4, you know, it's kind of like, is 4 closer to 4 or 5? You know, looking at the 45. So is 45 closer to 40, or is it closer to 50? And when we just kind of look at it in big terms like that, without worrying about all those little baby steps, it starts to just make sense. All right, good. So let's do another one. And I want to set it up in a way where we have to arrange it ourselves. So let's change colors because we can. All right. Okay. And no, I'm not just making these up as I go. They are pre-written in an old journal. Here we go. So, again, for this problem, it is horizontal. It's straight across. And nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to subtract decimals like this, right? So, our step 1 was that we were going to line up our decimals. So, I'm going to start. Again, when you're subtracting, you have to go in the same order that they've given you, okay? You don't get a choice in that. It's not like adding or multiplying. So that 8 and 3 thousandths has to go. Can you guys see that pink? Is that all right, or do you need a darker color? I think it's, let's go ahead and do a darker color for the people in the back. Sometimes these show up and sometimes they just kind of don't. So, all right, let me get in here. So I'm going to just write over that. 8 and 3 thousandths. Now I need to subtract the 4 and 75 hundredths. So again, you know, you can just put your decimal down and then just here I am to the left is a 4. And then I can just write my numbers right to the right so that I don't get confused. Some of you are going to be able to just line these up, and some of you are not. Some of you are going to struggle with it a little bit because the numbers are different. They're, you know, so it's going to throw you off a little bit, and that's okay if it does. Just write your decimal first, and then write your numbers in around it to make sure they're in the right place. Lachlan, is your hand up? Or are you just stretching? Yeah.
Don't you add the 0?
Yeah. Step 2. Just change colors. You read my mind. All right, so we lined up our decimals. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a 0. This isn't a good example either because we need some zeros on the top. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and line that up to subtract. So let's do that here. I'm going to go ahead and 3 minus 0. Oh, yeah, no, that's good. We're leaving it at 10. Okay, so 5, 2, bring down my decimal, and, okay, do your own maths. Check my maths, please. Lilybug?
Do we need to do the estimate on it?
Yeah, we sure do. Well, no, on this one we're okay. Let's go from there. You can. I mean, we can. All right. So check my math. Are we okay?
Yeah.
How we doing?
I got it right.
Anybody need another second? Okay.
I do.
Now let's pause this for a second. All right. So everybody matches? Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay. So we match here. Remind me, how would I check this problem if it was just me and I wanted to make sure it was completely correct? Lily.
Estimate.
You could estimate. You could estimate. How else would I check it? Good answer. Andy?
Add the bottom, add the 3 to the 4.
Yeah, so we're going to add these bottom numbers to get the top number. And that's how we know that we're correct, right? So again, we add the bottom numbers to get the top number. So I'm just going to do that real quick, because it's good for me also to set these up and add them. So I'm going to just put them together real quick. Here's my answer. And then here's my second. Here's the number I subtracted. 7, 5. I'm going to go ahead and keep that 0 in there. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm adding. My bad. All right. So I'm going to 3, 10, carry your 1, 10, bring down the decimal. Okay. And it is correct. That took me like 3 or 4 seconds. And I know it's correct. I mean, imagine if you guys just did that. Just throwing it out there. Okay. Just check yourselves. All right. How are we doing here?
What are the check marks for?
To say this is the same as this. Because that was my goal, right? That's how I know that my answer is correct. Okay, give me a quick check-in when you're done writing that. Thumbs up if you feel very secure about this, you're ready to try by yourself. In the middle, if you'd like to do a few more together, and thumbs down if you want your mama. Waiting on Andy Barry Anderson.
Wait, Miss Ann.
Waiting on Lachlan.
I have a thumb
Dude, your thumb is like here. You know it is. Okay. He said, I have my thumb up.
What's that thing by the arrow? Yeah, what is that for? I know it's a check mark. It means it's correct.
I'm saying when I add these two numbers, they equal this. Okay. All right, let me give you another one to try on your own. I need to turn the page. If you do, great. If not, you do you. All right, so let's do a you do. Okay. And go. Okay, if you're watching this at home, we're going to pause and you restart when you are ready to check your answer. All right, so let's put this together and we'll check it. So we were just discussing before that the 5 is a whole number, and the whole, so is the 3. They're both in the ones place. So the 5 will need a decimal after it. And then I've got 3.68. Okay, so I'm subtracting those, and this is a really good example of where we need to throw in step 2 with adding those zeros, okay? And, and later on you may get to a point where you're like, oh yeah, no, I don't even need those, but I'm sorry, you do now. So make sure you're adding them. Then we get the fun task of borrowing across zeros. So again, just as a reminder so that we don't get confused with all the carrying and borrowing, we start that subtraction just one place value at a time. If I have 0, I cannot take away 8. I go to my neighbor. He's got nothing. So he says, I'll go to my neighbor. So he borrows from his neighbor. And again, just be really intentional when you're doing this. Like, you're saying the steps to yourself while you do it so that you don't skip anything. Because a really common mistake here would be to not take away from that 4. From the 5. So I borrow from my neighbor, I give it to myself, then I should stop and subtract. But I have to subtract from right to left. So I go back here. I still can't subtract. So I borrow from my neighbor and I give it to myself. Now I can stop and subtract. So 10 minus 8 is 2. 9 minus 6 is 3. Bring down the decimal, and I'm left with 1. Okay, how did we do? And if you got it wrong, do you know why? And would you share, please?
I don't know why I got it right.
Charity?
I didn't line my numbers up correctly.
Didn't line them up correctly. Well, and that was a trick question. And it was a trick question, and I fully expected that would be a problem for some of you. Do you understand now why the 5 has the decimal after it? Perfect. You won't forget. Lily?
So I didn't have the decimal and the zeros after the 5.
Perfect. Okay. Layden?
I don't know why I got it wrong.
What was your answer?
0.42.
0.42. Okay, so we know what you did here. So 4, did you leave this at 10? Okay, so again, that's where we get into that being intentional. Once this was a 10 and you came back over here, again, when I'm saying this to myself, I'm borrow from my neighbor. Like, I'm literally, as I'm borrowing from my neighbor, I'm marking out that 10 and I'm making it a 9. Because what did I say would happen? You wouldn't mark it out and you didn't. So we get in a hurry, and especially when we have all of this borrowing to do, we have to say it and do it so that we're accurate, okay? So again, you borrow from your neighbor. You're literally marking it out and lowering it and then making yourself a 10, okay? Because you made the 10 in the ones place, but you did not change the tens place. After that, I'm not sure. What did you have here in the ones place?
I had a 0.
What were your numbers?
Oh, it's because whenever I was borrowing, I didn't go to the second 0, the 0 in the middle. I went to the 5, so that became a 3. So 3 minus 3 is a 0.
So you made the 5 a 3?
Yeah, because
Okay.
I didn't know I was supposed to borrow from the 0.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
forgot that it was.
And we'll just borrow 1, right? So I think you were also probably looking at this 3 and then made this top number a 3, but it should have been a 4. Okay. That's a guess. But okay, that makes sense. Anybody else? Yeah, Charity. Oh yeah, sorry, didn't catch that. Let's do another one. You may potty. Okay. Oh, make it awkward, Span. Okay. That's what my husband always says. If there's a way to make it awkward, you will figure it out. Thanks, sweetheart. All right. So. So many colors and so little time. Let's do another one. How does that show up? Can y'all read that one?
Yeah.
You sure? Okay. I'm going to do this one myself. Let me think. This is going to take a minute. All right, go ahead and take a second to try that one on your own, and then we'll come back and check it. Oh, let's check it. So, again, we don't really have any choice in how we set this up. I'm just going to come over here, and I'm going to say 4.2, and I'm going to subtract and line up my decimal. So, I need to make sure that these numbers are correct on the left and right, and I'll keep going. Step 2, I am. Oh, thank you, Aria. Where would I be without you? How did I make it through college? Where have you been? Okay. Step 2, I'm going to add my zeros. And then step 3, I'm going to remember as I'm subtracting to bring down my decimal. So, I'm going to come here again, borrow from a neighbor. He got nada. He borrows from his neighbor. I take 1 from my neighbor and give it to myself. Can't stop and subtract. I'm going to come back to the ones place. And here I'm going to do it again. I'm going to borrow 1 from my neighbor and give it to myself. Now I'll stop and subtract. Subtract. Oh, got to do it again. Borrow 1 from my neighbor. Give it to myself. Stop and subtract. Now, you guys okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I hear some muttering. So, alright, I'm going to bring that decimal down. And 3 minus 1.
Yay.
Check my maths. Alright. Okay, so I already hear what you copied the number wrong.
I thought the last 9 in the 1.98.
This one.
I thought the last 9 was the 6, and I wrote the 6.
Okay, that's an honest mistake.
Then I got the rest of it right.
Okay. But if you had copied it right, you would have been okay. Okay, Layden?
I got 2.121.
2.121. So here again, when you came back to the ones place, that's the same as last time. You had to borrow from that 10, and you did not.
How was I supposed to borrow? You take a...
Because when you got the 10 here, and you had 10 minus 8, you can't subtract yet. You have to start all the way to the right. So you went over, and until your tens place had enough to borrow from. So when you got back here, you had to borrow 1 from your neighbor and then give it to yourself. Like, you need to literally do it in that order. You need to physically change your neighbor to a smaller number and then raise the ones, that's a thousandths place there, okay? Again, what you're doing is a very common mistake, but that's when you have to stop and break your habit of whatever you're doing and go step by step and literally do it as you say the steps, okay?
I still don't get it.
Okay, we'll work on it tomorrow. I get you like almost all to yourself tomorrow, so that'll be awesome. We'll have time to go over some of this stuff. All right. Everybody else okay, or did anybody else have a boo-boo that they figured out with your big genius math brains? Okay, I feel like for the most part you guys are good with this. The only thing I want to add in here, and pick up those pencils with me, is I just want to throw in money, okay, just so we talk about it. I don't think that, like, show me the money. I want some money. Never had any in my life, but it's okay. All right, so, money is, when you're talking about adding and subtracting decimals, just kind of goes hand in hand. So, go ahead and get that in there. And we'll talk about that. The big difference really in subtracting with money versus subtraction or subtracting with decimals is what? Like, well, for instance, let me set up a problem for you. So looking at this problem versus the one above, what is the main difference adding money versus subtracting or adding a decimal? Y'all finish writing and then think about that answer.
Is it still recording?
Yes, ma'am. Lilybug?
There's just the dollar.
The dollar sign. Does the dollar sign matter?
No. Yes. Yes.
Who said no?
No.
Tell me why.
Oh. I don't know.
Why? I mean, well, that was your gut instinct, though. Like, what do you think? Because it's just a sign. Okay. I'm just curious. I was just curious why, because you came to that really quick. Did anybody else say no? Here's the difference, though. It does matter because money is not a decimal. It is a decimal, but it's not a decimal. It's only going to go to the hundredths place. Okay? It's never going to be longer than that. And it also changes the answer itself. Because if I go ahead and subtract this, and let me pick the ugliest color I can here. When I get into my answer, I will end up with, hang on. Okay, so here you'll notice, like, when we get into our answer, if this was just a decimal, I would call it what? How would I say this number as a decimal, Titus?
I know.
Your mind went blank. What about you, Jaimes? What do you think? How would you say this number if it was just a decimal?
If that was a decimal, I would probably say or something like that.
Start from the beginning, though.
Like the whole thing?
Yeah, tell me what this number is.
The minus?
No, the answer, honey. Look, I'm covering up the dollar sign. So how would you say this number?
$12.79.
All right. So again, I'm covering up that decimal.
Covered up the dollar sign.
Color up the, yeah, thank you. I'm coloring up the dollar sign. Arya, how would you say this number?
Without the dollar sign?
Yeah, girl, it's covered.
12 and
79 hundredths. Perfect. But now, when I have a dollar sign, it is what, Cadence? $12.79. The dollar sign matters. If you do not include it, your problem is wrong. Now, some teachers might, I would be inclined to probably do like half off, but I think you guys need to get in the habit because plenty of teachers will be sticklers for this, and they're not wrong. They're not wrong. It changes your answer. It changes the number. I mean, it goes from being a decimal and to dollars and change. Right? 79 cents out of a whole dollar. So,
dollar sign always go in front?
Yes. And technically, you should put one on the second number, but I don't know why. I just never do. It looks weird to me, but when you see the problems in your math book, you will notice that they have it on both numbers. So just full disclosure.
Do we have to put it like that?
No, you're fine like this.
What about for the cent sign? The C?
For your answer, yeah, so if it's only cents, there will sometimes just be a cent sign, but for the most part, even if there's no dollars, you'll have a zero and then just change, and you can put the dollar sign in front.
So if it ever is cents, we just put the C in front of the cents?
No, it would go after. Yeah, and it's a C with a line through it, like that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good question. Are we good with this? I don't really feel like we need to drag this out, okay? So we are out of time, so you got lucky again. On Monday, I'll make sure that you have some homework for the adding and subtracting of decimals. We'll throw a little money in there. Don't freak out, but it's 3 different lessons in the curriculum. So we will shorten those and knock them all out at one time. We ain't got no time to drag this out. We'll shorten it like we did last time. You know I'm not crazy. All right, but you will not have any homework for tomorrow.
Yay!
So, hey, but I will miss you guys. We'll miss you guys.